All right, good morning, traders. Today is December 27, 2024. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. We do mostly day trading. Thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody out there in cyber and digital land, talking about Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube, everybody that subscribes to my content, to our content. Appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much. All right. My SPY pivot this morning, 650, kind of remains the same, still in the same spot. We haven't moved far from it. All right, so it's still 600.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and a 10-minute downtrend. SPY in a daily downtrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. QQQ in an uptrend, still daily uptrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA as well. FNGU in an uptrend, also in a daily uptrend, made an outside day. That's a higher high and a lower low, closing above a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. IWM in a daily downtrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17. Diamond Dow almost doing the same thing in a downtrend, a daily downtrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing above the bearish trap under the 17. Gold still in a downtrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing above a bearish trap under the 17. Silver still in a downtrend, made a higher high and a higher low like gold, closing inside a bearish trap, silver, and under the 17. UNG in an uptrend, looking like this has got some room to move. Look for UNG, probably had a little much higher, not much higher, but closer to 18, 16. We'll see what happens. UNG in a daily uptrend, made a lower high and a lower low, closing inside a bullish trap, but over a rising 17. USO in an uptrend as well, still trying to do that consolidation wedge there. Made an outside day, that's a higher high and a lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. US dollar index bull flagging up there, closed still in an uptrend, bull flagging, and closed near the 108.10 area. All right, let's go take a look at some charts. All right, start off with SPY. And let's pull up the 10-minute. All right, you can see the 10-minute, the faster moving average, the 3, that's that thin yellow line, is underneath the white line. So we had a 10-minute downtrend going into the close right there. So you can see the faster moving average crosses underneath the white one, and the 17, that's the dots, okay? Those red dots are the 17 EMA. They could be green if price is above it. They'll be red if price is below it. So you can see price and the 3 underneath the other 2 slower moving averages. That would be the 8 EMA and the 17 EMA. So you got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. On the 2-hour chart, okay, you can see the faster moving average and price up over the other 2. So that's a 2-hour uptrend there. On the daily chart, okay, on the daily chart, a little bit different the way we define this. We made a lower low. See, here's a low. That was the last low. SPY in a downtrend there. So we made a lower low. So we got a low here, made a lower low. That's a downtrend. Now, in order to negate this downtrend, they're going to have to make a higher high. All right, so that means to negate this downtrend, they got to make a brand new all-time high up here. That means taking out this high up here. So we'll see what they want to do. All right, price action for yesterday. Nice little bullish day, but kind of a pause. Got a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap and over the 17 EMA. Also over the all-time high anchored VWAP right there. Okay, so up in quadrant 4, you can see this would be quadrant 4 up here. So SPY looking bullish, but in a downtrend. Had the big red candle kind of mess things up. But Does it matter whether it's in a downtrend or an uptrend as long as it's moving up? Hey, that's what we want. Price to be moving up, all right? So it doesn't, just because it's in a downtrend on the daily chart does not define SPY, because on the weekly chart and on the 3-day chart, okay, see here's the 3-day, we're still in an uptrend. See those candles no longer are below the 17, so they're still in an uptrend on the 3-day, and on the 2-day we're still in an uptrend. All right, and on the weekly we're still in an uptrend, and on the monthly we're still in an uptrend. All right, so whether you're weekly, monthly, 3-day, 2-day, we're in an uptrend. But on the daily chart, because we broke those candles right here below the 17, made a lower low, that put us in a downtrend right there. So in order to negate that downtrend for me, I want to see price take out that high. They got to make a higher high. All right, so we'll see what happens here. They put a little shelf up there. We'll see if we can get above it. All right, so there's SPY. On the game plan for this morning, let's check this out. Put it up on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so SPY pivot still 600.50. Yesterday we traded above it, and looks like this morning we're trading below it. I'm expecting price to come down and challenge and probably spike this pretty hard, this all-time high anchored VWAP right here. I'm actually expecting price to come back to this peak in between the valleys here, okay, to check this right here. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a spike today that heads down to 590, 577. See that peak within the two valleys? You got a valley right here. Let me point out the valleys. Let's get a different chart here, okay? So let's get point out the valleys. So we got a valley right here. That's too thin. Can't see that. Let's try it. We got a valley right here. All right, and then we have another valley right here. Okay, so we got a valley both here and here. And this is the peak between the two valleys right here. Okay, so that's a popular location for price to pull back to and either find support or bounce away from. So that's a target for today if we get underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, so let's go back to our other chart. I'm going to take this off, but that's a location where I'm expecting price to pull back, find support, and bounce from there. Notice that peak between the two valleys right there is right at the midpoint. Okay, see there's our quad line midpoint, and that's a measurement from the all-time high to the pullback low. All right, so I'm going to just take this off so you can see that on a bigger picture. Trash all that out and move this out here. Let's go to 65. Okay, see here's our quad lines. All right, you see from the all-time high, that's the all-time high, and this is the pullback low. Notice the low's lower than these. That's what put us in a downtrend. Okay, so there's from here to there, and notice that peak lines up right with that median, right in the middle, the 50-yard line. Okay, so that's where I'm kind of expecting price to probably melt down to, or just kind of either spike down to it and then bounce away. We'll see what happens. They may come down here and camp out for a while. We'll see what happens. But I expect them to find some support there. So we'll see what happens. So there's SPY. All right, again, back on the game plan. Flipping around with charts here, sorry. All right, back on the game plan. And you can see that peak right here. All right, but you can see here's our all-time high anchored VWAP sitting at 98.37. So I'm expecting price to kind of come down to here. I don't know if we'll get a bounce. All right, we've been here before. We may go through it this time. All right, we'll see what happens. Notice we had a pullback to there before, and they bounced away. I'm expecting maybe price to kind of, I don't know, consolidate on top of there, I guess I'll say. Consolidate on top of this or just underneath it, and then maybe break down to that that peak between the two valleys right there at the midpoint. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, price currently up in quadrant 4. All right, if we look at this, I think where's my chart? Right there, quadrant 4. Let's pull this out. Yeah, I didn't want all that. Let's take that off after. Anyways, you can see price from the top to the bottom was up in quadrant 4 earlier. Now we're just in quadrant 3. So I'm expecting us to pull back to this. So we'll see what happens. All right. And in that area, we also got a little gap fill. All right. It's a little gap that needs to be filled down there as well. So if we get to the midpoint, chances are we'll probably fill that gap as well. So we'll see what happens. Let me move this out of here and move pane right here. Pin that. Get that out of the way. Move that. Pin that. Okay. Move that. Pin that. All right. Let's go take a look at some other charts. Start off with QQQ on the daily. All right. QQQ on the daily. Again. Higher low, higher high, just like SPY, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. QQQ, notice, did not take out those candles below the 17 down there. QQQ still in a daily uptrend. QQQ closing up in quadrant 4. That's an all-time high for QQQ. QQQ having a whole lot of strength inside it. All right, let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU, notice, did not take out these candles down here below the 17. Still in a daily uptrend. Price action for FNGU yesterday, outside day. Okay, got a higher high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA on the daily chart there. So FNGU still looking strong, still looking good. All right, let's take a look at IWM. Now, IWM's in a downtrend, right? Just like SPY. The reason they took out this low. All right, so they made a lower low, so that put them in a downtrend. All right, so there's IWM. Excuse me. Price action, higher low, higher high, closing inside a bearish trap near the top of it, but underneath the falling 17 EMA. All right, so that's IWM. Take a look at Diamond Dow. Here's Diamond Dow doing about the same thing. Okay, just a little bit prettier. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bearish trap. Okay. So it's above the 8 EMA, but underneath the falling 17 EMA there. Still in quadrant 2 down here. Again, Diamond Dow in a downtrend. They took out the low, made a lower low, so they're in a downtrend. The only way they can negate that is to create a lower high and then rise above it. Okay? Create a lower high, pull back, and then rise above it. Other than that, they got to take out this all-time high. Hey, good morning, Billy B and Brad. Good to see you. All right, so that's what we got this morning, all right, for Diamond Dow. All right, it's still in a downtrend. All right, let's go take a look at our technicals. T2122, leaning on the bullish side up here, making higher lows, higher highs, finding ourselves coming out of the oversold zone on the 23rd, right there. Coming out of and the sell zone into the seller's chop zone, and we found our way up to the midpoint. I didn't think we'd get on top of it, but we did. Price action got up on top of the midpoint here and started making higher lows and just kind of consolidated up there. So there's T2122, nice recovery. T2123 still flat, still underneath the falling 200 SMA. Yesterday kind of choppy, a lot of indecision, maybe a floor here. Not can't tell. Looking like a floor when you get that wide price action throughout the day. All right, so you got, for yesterday's price action be the 26th. That was the 24th, so that was Christmas Eve. This is the 26th. A little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of red, a little bit of green, just kind of flat right there. Okay, but notice consolidation under prior consolidation. That's bearish. Okay, so we still could have another move down. All right, see the consolidation is under. See this consolidation over here is above this consolidation here. See that? It's underneath it. All right, so that's bearish. But the nice thing is it's kind of leaning on this area right here. So we'll see what happens if they could get up above that or even consolidate a little bit higher right on the same latitude. That would be cool. We'll see what happens. All right, so there's T2123 15-minute chart. Again, you can see we're well underneath our falling 200 SMA there. On the 3-bar chart, okay, we have a flat 200 SMA up here with price way below it. Notice we go way above it here. Well, now we're doing the other side. You get the little synchronicity. What happens on one side happens on the other. Okay, so now we're way below it. Okay, eventually they'll find their ways back to each other and have a meeting kind of in the middle here. We'll see what happens. That's usually what happens. All right, so T2123, 2-hour chart, or excuse me, 3-bar chart. Here's the 3-bar chart. Putting in 3 more red candle bars yesterday, right there, underneath the 200 SMA. So we still got some room to drop. If you look at 200 SMA and the distance between the two, we could probably drop down to here. And like I said, we are bear flagging at the time, so very well could find ourselves another drop down to here. That's why I'm saying there's a possibility for us, for SPY, to visit that peak that's between the two valleys. If not today, maybe next week sometime. We'll see what happens, all right? Maybe the window dressing comes in and rescues the day. We'll see. FNGU, all right. FNGU consolidating over rising 200 SMA. Nice look there. You can see FNGU yesterday. That'd be the 26. Mostly green all day above regular VWAP right there. Okay, so FNGU, this would be the all-time high. We could plant a anchored VWAP up there. You can see price action is over the 200. It's above the rising 200 and over the all-time high anchored VWAP, and price action over regular VWAP. So that was a bullish day for FNGU, and that's probably what held up the SPY. So FNGU, so maybe FNGU takes another day rest here. We'll see what happens. All right. As long as it consolidates on the north side of this all-time high anchored VWAP and this rising 200, I'm going to have a bullish outlook. This is still looking really good, still looking really strong. All right, so there's FNGU. All right, let's go take a look at a few sectors, then we'll visit our economic package. First sector we'll look at SMH. All right, let's pull up SMH. All right, SMH, check it out right here. Came up in quadrant 4. That's a good look. Up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Another good look. In a bull flag consolidation. Not a very pretty bull flag. Kind of looking like the fabric's extended a whole lot longer than the pole. Getting a little long in the tooth here. Eventually, I do like what I see. The only problem is it's in a downtrend technically. All right, but it's a bull flag on the bigger picture. On the daily time frame, it's a downtrend simply because we made a lower low. See a low? There's a low. We made a lower low. So if they take out the high, they'll be in an uptrend. All right. I was going to say Intel's been acting a little bullish lately, so keep an eye on that one. SMH, again, daily bull flag, but still in a downtrend, but having a really good look to it up here in quadrant 4 over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Also over the trap and over the 17 EMA. That's a very bullish outlook. Like to see put in a higher low right here. That would be nice today, maybe Monday. All right, and then kind of J-hook out of there, start attacking these highs again. All right, we'll see what happens. SMH, not looking too bad, but technically in a daily downtrend. XLK is looking fantastic. That's an all-time high for XLK. They challenged that all-time high yesterday. All right, you can see price action up over the trap, up over the 17, up in quadrant 4, up over a prior all-time high anchored VWAP. And imagine if we put, move this to right here, you can see prices up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Anytime price is up over an all-time high anchored VWAP, it has a bullish outlook for me. All right, so there's XLK technology really rocking and rolling there. XLI in a downtrend because it made a lower low. Took out that low and this low. All right, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, down here bouncing off of the midpoint of the quad lines. 50-yard line bounce right here. Notice it's not a huge bounce right back up. All right, it's just little mini candles. A little bit bigger than these coming down, but little mini candles bounce. So looks like it's kind of over for XLI. At least for, well, it's only a couple more days. It's only one more day for 2024. And then I think when we come back, are we open Monday? Yeah, I think we're open Monday. All right. So then we're coming back to New Year's Eve and maybe couple more trading days. But maybe XLI recovers, not for a while, I think. All right. So we'll see. But XLI right there in a daily downtrend, down in quadrant 3, leaning on the midpoint there. XLU also in a downtrend, okay, underneath the falling 17, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, which is right there, okay, down in quadrant 3, leaning on the midpoint here. So XLU in a downtrend. Let's take a look at XRT. XRT's in an uptrend. If they take out this low, they'll be in a downtrend. They found some support. Notice on all these wicks up here. Well, you can see price action kind of interlocks with those wicks, and we're bouncing away from that. So XRT in a daily uptrend, but not moving up. Bullish. You got a big bull flag here, right? About 9-10 months of bullish consolidation, a move up. See, we've got to move up, and then over to the right. That's a bull flag. All right, and then we got ourselves a breakout. All right, and anytime I see consolidation over prior consolidation, that's bullish. Look at how many times we went up. All right, and we were pushed back down, up and down, up, pushed back down, up. See all the wicks up there? All right, now we're up here and we're holding the higher ground. That is a bullish outlook. So there's XRT. Keep an eye on Amazon. All right, let's take a look at IYT and then XLF. Let's take a look at XLF. All right, here's our financials. All right, there's the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're under it. We're under the 17. Okay, but we are in quadrant 4. We're still looking good. We did not take out the low, so we're still in an uptrend here. All right. Notice we didn't take out this low, so we're still in an uptrend. XLF up in quadrant 4, looking bullish, just on the wrong side of the 17, on the wrong side of the all-time high anchored VWAP, but still up in quadrant 4. Still got a bullish outlook, kind of neutral bullish there on XLF. If they can hold this higher ground up here, they may convert that neutral bullish to a bullish stance. There's XLF up in quadrant 4, leaning on the falling 17 and close to attacking the falling all-time high anchored VWAP there. So we got the financials working with us. Semiconductors seem to be working. Technology's working. We got one more to look at, and that's the transports, and boy, are they a wreck. All right, so here's price action for the transports. All right, we broke this low, that low, and even that low right there. So transports in a daily downtrend, underneath the falling 17, underneath the falling anchored VWAP. underneath the midpoint. Well, they got over the midpoint. That's yesterday's candle. No, this is right here. So they're underneath the midpoint here, underneath the downtrend line. IYT transport's just really technically damaged here. So we'll see what happens with them, but not till I see some uptrends get established. I don't even think we got a 10-minute uptrend. Oh, we did. Yesterday, looks like 24th, 23rd, 24th, 26th, and then we just went flat into a bull flag up there. So looking like they gave me a bad candle, because if you notice, here's the midpoint. I don't think all of this happened. I think that's just a bad tick. So in actuality, they recovered the midpoint there on the daily. So they're really up here where this green line is, right there, over the bear trap, but still under the falling 17, bouncing off the midpoint area. Okay, take a look at our economic package. And here's the dollar. Dollar still bullish, making higher lows, higher highs, and a higher low, and a higher high, kind of bull flagging right now. Closed near the 108.10 area up there. All right, that's, if we go back and look, that is a 1 year, 2 year high right now. Okay, that's a 2 year high for the dollar. We don't want a strong dollar. Okay, because that makes our goods and services more expensive. When we try to sell them overseas, that makes the conversion rate more expensive for, the people that are going to buy our goods and services. So we don't want a strong dollar. Earnings, nothing really happening on the earnings. All right, just some familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. And on Monday, BHP, no one's really given us a time yet. Right there. So you got nothing really going on as far as earnings go. For Max Payne, let's see what we get from Max Payne. Max Payne for today, $5.99. I think we're already there. One put for each call, and those are the puts and calls that expired today. On the economic calendar, okay, we just did, what's today? Today's Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. Today we got international trade in goods advance. All right, coming out at 8:30. That's about 2 minutes from now. Retail inventories, 8:30. Wholesale inventories, 8:30. Gas report at 10:30. Petroleum report at 1. And a rig count also at 1. All right, so by the way, I won't be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. The room will be open on the days that the market's open. But I want to wish everybody a safe New Year. All right. Especially New Year's Eve. I want to wish you a safe and happy New Year. All right. So let's have a good day today. I won't see you again for a while. So again, have a safe and a happy New Year. I want you to party, but don't party too much. Take an Uber. Be responsible. Get a designated driver. All right. I want to see all of you back here on Thursday in the new year, safe and sound, making money right here in the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to render my video, and I will be back on in about 45 minutes. And I'll take questions until the market opens if you got some questions.